actually just dive right in. However, yeah, I'd like you to kind of stop after you do the, after we get the Thistle Control Center set up, after we get the Beagle Imager set up or downloaded. Then the developer environment. Then we'll go into a little bit of a commentary, question answer.
All right, cool, yeah. So yeah, right, yeah, like, and so where I was at with that is, and whenever you're ready, record, please. Um, yeah, so this helps with your development workflow, right? You're not just, again, you're not having to copy files over manually. So you can package and sign software releases remotely, deploy them through the cloud, determine what devices you want to send it to all of them, send it to group of devices, and then you also can get confirmation that that file reached all those devices. So it really helps with production readiness. You can end up creating CI/CD integration patterns, so you can actually set up like a GitHub action that packages and releases your code for you. So you can just, if you do a git push or git merge or whatever rules you set up for your organization, now everybody can, just as easily as you would deploy a web application, you can deploy firmware to your devices. And right. And so again, this is why OTA updates matter, right? There's a lot of security issues out there. There's a lot of attack vectors, cost businesses thousands and thousands of dollars. We've seen what happens with I forget the name of the worm, but it made its way into a bunch of smart devices that left like default passwords in. People who have left Raspberry Pis still using the default Raspberry Pi username and password.
That's actually a
Hackers
famous one
and
where it takes, I think there's some statistic where it takes like 30 seconds for a device to be publicly exposed before somebody tries the Pi default.
right, yeah, and it's because yeah, and right now in this day and age, right, we've got so much AI automated attacks happening that they're just going around scanning complete IP spaces all over the place constantly. So it's really important to have security. It's not just a, oh, it'll be something to kick down the line. It's something to think of now in this moment. And so Thistle really helps with that, and makes it just as easy as any other platform. In fact, it makes the development process easier, right? And so, and the bonus is great security, uh, following the pattern of what smartphones do. So again, some statistics here, right? Just there's tons of breaches worldwide every day. Every home's getting attacked at some point or another. Right. So here are your options for secure updates, right? So there's two paths with two main paths when it comes to Thistle is doing file updates, which is today's focus, or doing secure boot OTA as we discussed. So you can update specific files, add scripts, determine scripts to run before and after you push these file updates. And it helps with fast deployment as well as rollback. You have versions all tracked, so you can always switch back to something. Everything is signed using manifest. They're atomic file operations. So if the update fails or like halfway through it loses connection, it just doesn't update. It still has the original files it had, but if it succeeds, then it rolls over to the switches over to the new version, and it verifies for all installations. With secure boot, this takes things a step further, right? Like you've got your secure file updates, but now you can also secure at the firmware level. So now you don't have to worry also about someone breaking into the root file system, because it's one thing to get a file update, but if somebody gets your root file system, right, then it doesn't really matter how secure you're being in your OS with your files. You need to secure that boot system. So that'll be our next session's focus. Right? Again, comparing the two chains, right? So both methods use the same core security principles: cryptographic signing, verification, atomic operations. But secure boot extends that trust chain deeper into the hardware, so that you can actually do kernel verification and do full system rollbacks on failure. So prerequisites for this workshop. You're going to want a BeagleY AI single board computer, or really any Linux board that you have if you don't have a BeagleBoard. This specific path, since we'll be using a binary for the Thistle update client, It will work on any Linux system, so it's not requiring any specific boot setup. If we're doing secure boot, then we'd have to talk about doing partitioning, and that's where things can get a little bit more advanced. In this case, we're essentially just running a Linux binary. So you just need a BeagleY AI single board computer or any Linux device, at least a 32 gigabyte micro SD card, USB-C cable, and a host computer with internet access. So I'm using a MacBook M1 MacBook Air. Optional hardware. If you have an LED, you can have use a resistor. Don't always need a resistor. You should use a resistor with an LED. And if you have a breadboard or jumper wires, and if you're concerned about Wi-Fi connection, you can use an Ethernet cable. Right. So, moving forward. First things first, we're going to make a Thistle account. So we need the Thistle cloud account so we can have our project access token and actually push things to the device and register things. And then, we're going to get the account, create a new project for this workshop, and then get that project access token and stash it somewhere. And then we'll go through downloading these tools. Ideally, you want a SSH client. If you're not familiar with that, I would go ahead and download one. If you have a MacBook, the included terminal does have SSH, I believe, built in.
Windows and Linux, you guys know SSH space, user at IP address. Windows PuTTY or something else, unless you have like WSL installed.
Yeah. And then here's the link to the BeagleBoard imager, beagleboard.org/bb-imager. So you're gonna want to go download that.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know about that, that's an easy way to figure out what board you have, download the right image without having to figure out, through the website, kind of what you need to get. So it started out as a fork of the PyImager, but nowadays it was completely rewritten by our own lovely Ayush in Rust. And the source code is available as well, if you're curious.
And then in order to qualify for, thank you, Andre, by the way, and in order to qualify for the giveaway, you have to go ideally download the imager, and then of course you need to go create a Thistle Control Center account. So please just go through the process. It should be real quick to make the account. You'll need that account in order for us to use the OTA. That's what you'll need.
The Thistle one's the important part. Yeah, don't worry about the Beagle imager. That's more, be aware it's there.
They need it. They're going to need it.
You're going to need it. Maybe. To flash it. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and create an account. So you'll see me here creating one.
Yeah. So Nathan, you don't need an account on Beagle's side. We don't log any of the data. It's just it's only on Thistle that you need an account.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if you're still following along, I've got a brand new Thistle account open here, right? So if you want to, you can follow the guided tools here, but we're just gonna dive right in. So first thing we need is a new project. Beagle. Yes. And then once that's created, we click into it, and you get this awesome dashboard. So once you have a bunch of devices, you'll see all sorts of things here. So you can get a snapshot of what's going on with your fleet. But for now, we just need to go on the left side on the menu, click Access, and just copy your project access token. And then dash it over here, window. And we're just going to save that for later. So we don't need it right now, but we will in a little bit. And then once you have that, we move on to the next steps, right?
So I guess as a clarification for the people joining, so when you create a project, does that structure usually have like, could I put all my boards in there and they all have to take the same kind of images at that point? Or is it just a project is more, can be kind of generic where it's like my board farm and then I can choose updates per device?
So you can be generic and then you can kind of make groups of devices and determine like these devices will receive updates. Like if I'm sending updates to a group, in this case, we're doing just kind of a catch-all.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, you can specify specific devices that you want to send an update to. You can even go in from the UI and manually upload files and kernels directly in the browser. So once you have your Thistle account, and really if you want to right now, while you're building that, is I would suggest again downloading the BeagleBoard imager and start flashing your device because it might take a minute. I've already pre-flashed the device on my SD card here, and it's a pretty straightforward process. You'll launch the imager application, and then you'll select the BeagleY AI as the device. You'll choose the recommended image. Plug in your SD card to your machine. If you're using a MacBook Air, you want to make sure you're using a USB-C SD card adapter. There's some sort of issue, I believe, with something to do with drivers, but you should be fine. And then once you've set all that up, before flashing it, you're going to click on the settings gear icon, and you're going to enable SSH and like Wi-Fi by adding a username, password, setting a host name, which will make it easier to find the device later, versus like having to go through your network and finding the IP address. And you can optionally add your SSH public key. And I'll show you instructions to do that if you're not familiar. That just makes connecting to it more secure, while also making it easy where you won't have to log in. It'll just use the SSH key from your computer to authenticate with the device. So if you want to take that path, the instructions are here. Oh, the other thing is to enable USB DHCP. This allows you to do USB networking. You can actually plug the USB-C directly into your computer, and it'll show up as if it's on your network, so that you can SSH into it that way. Oh, nice. And it makes it super easy to get set up. And then from there, you can configure Wi-Fi directly. I've had some issues, I think, related to my MacBook, where it wasn't configuring the Wi-Fi correctly. So it worked out really great, where I can just plug it in with USB-C and then configure it from there.
Yep. On Mac, it's really nice because you just go to settings, network, and then it shows the Beagle will show up as a network adapter, and you can just click share internet connection with it. And you're pretty much off to the races after that. If anybody has any questions as far as any of the process, why a step is done, anything like that, toss it in chat. We'll answer it. Don't feel shy about it, right? I think we've all had to learn at some point what SSH key pairs are, things like that. So, feel free to ask more through it.
Yeah, and I guess I skipped over that part. SSH is it's a way to basically securely tunnel through a terminal to your device, and then now your remote Linux device's terminal you can use on your workstation. So if you feel following through this path, all the instructions are there, or like I said, you can just start flashing the image and then use the USB networking. If you want to take a different path for whatever reason, the quick starts on the BeagleBoard website do walk you through all those different paths. All right, how's everybody doing so far? Anybody following along?
Yeah, I think right now it seems like Jason is following along. I'm not sure who else is, but maybe Mohib, maybe you could kind of like explain one of the big things here. I know we talked about that to Raul Vergara, the CRO, Chief Revenue Officer from Thistle. Why OTA and is important? Like, I mean, I remember like OTAs, something he was talking about airports and security with regards to like, what was it? Remember what happened a while back where airports went all the way under? They had to literally go manually flash like hundreds or thousands or whatever of these little terminals, and it took them forever because they didn't have a particular update. Do you remember that when that happened?
Yeah, and yes, I remember that. And so the importance of over the air is that if you have a large fleet of devices, right, if you have to assume that the average person's not going to go into the security updates themselves. They're not going to go in there and update their firmware, especially if things get forgotten over time, right? If you make a good product, it lasts a long time. And that's why you have a lot of legacy hardware out there too. But if they don't have a way to remotely update them, they're going to go forgotten. Or, human error is the biggest security flaw that there is. So when you have the ability to push updates to all these devices securely, so you know that, this is coming from a trusted authority, then your customers or users can rest easy knowing that if they forget, you're on it, right? And same as if you're, doing your own bespoke thing for whatever solution you're building, you have this built-in utility. So it's a no-brainer. Like this is something any IoT device should have, right?
And I want to ask one thing. Like we always talk about, we are talking about OTA, and again we are adding the security here, like security. What can you give a best example? Like what can go wrong if the OTA is not secured? Any practical example?
Yeah. So, for example, this is how hackers get firmware onto devices, right? If you're not securely authenticating, I can give you actually an example. A friend of mine has a smart house.
Okay.
And when he first moved in, he found this weird box that said "high voltage don't open." So naturally, he opens it.
Okay.
And inside, he finds it's just an IoT board that's the main board that controls all of his home automation.
Oh, the hub.
And him being a security engineer, he got in there and found out that the updates that it just takes this plain text and checks, is it coming from the server? So this common path that a lot of companies have taken over the years. People are being more proactive about it now, but for a long time, devices was just the security check, and this was even in smart cars. I forget which Jeep it was.
Okay.
I think some GM vehicles that would just accept anything that came through from something that said it was the server for the company, and it would just take a plain text or JSON configuration and just use it. So in the case of my friend's house, he found out that he could say set the temperature to any number because all of the safety checks happen in the cloud, not on the device.
Okay.
Yeah, and so someone could send a malicious, like just hop onto a network, send a malicious update, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Maybe
So
they
it's
can
important
control
to-
our smart home as well.
Yeah, and I guarantee you these homes are still out there and have not been patched because they're such old systems.
And the
And
problem
it's
isn't
one of
even,
those,
it's
you
once
set
you
up that
take
system,
control
but
of
you
one
never.
device, right? Once you take control of one device, you have access to the full network. So just because my light bulb got hacked doesn't mean it's still, they're just going to turn my light on and off. Is they all of a sudden have access to my entire home network, right? So at that point, anything's fair game. And this,
Precisely.
the kind of really applicable thing here is, okay, you'll say, okay, my network slows, I don't care. But if you ever actually want to release a product in the next couple of years, everyone in the industry is worried about something called CRA compliance. So basically all the cybersecurity laws coming out of Europe and other places where they're trying to catch up with this kind of infrastructure stuff, right? Where you're saying you need to have secure OTA capabilities if you're going to release a product. You can't just, release it and hope kind of thing. It might actually become like one of the challenges of even putting something out there as a product, right? So even as a kind of startup.
That do make sense as well. We need to have that secured OTA ready product before launching it to the market. Definitely.
Absolutely. All right, let's
let's move ahead.
see. Yeah, let's get to the next step. So once you have your Beagle flashed, and it might be a while, I think, for a few people, all you need to do then is just plug in the SD card and USB-C. So you can see here, really straightforward. And then give it, maybe a minute or two just to do that first boot and get set up. And then once it's ready, you'll see the light on there start flashing green. So
Yeah. It's got a little heartbeat.
this is still taking a moment.
It's got a little heartbeat.
Sorry, say that?
It's got a
Yeah,
heartbeat.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Once it's ready, it'll start flashing green. I don't know how well you can see that. All right. And again, like I said, there's a couple of different ways to connect. If you're on USB network, you can kind of really just use any of these commands. So again, if you're running into a snag, always check the BeagleBoard docs. I have some troubleshooting stuff in this guide if you're following along with the link. I'm just gonna actually drop this in the chat again. If anybody missed that. So, for example, now that it's plugged in, I can actually just do SSH. See if I can make this really big. Right, you're not seeing my whole screen, are you?
No, we're just seeing the app, I think, so you're going to want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming for a sec and then do the whole window. There you go. All right, so you should see that now. So we can just do SSH Beagle, because when we did when I set up, let's see, I'll show you that. When
You
I
might
set
not
up the
actually want to
Beagle
skip
imager,
verification, but you can.
what's that?
No, I was joking
Oh.
with there's somebody posting in the chat about how like the progress bar, and I was like, skip verification, live dangerously.
Yeah, so in the BeagleBoard, right, the BeagleBoard imager, right, we did this. We picked the BeagleBoard, the default image, and then we would pick the SD card. And in here in settings, I had set the host name here to beagle.local and my username as Beagle. So that means once it's connected, I can do SSH Beagle at beagle.local. Right, and it's complaining because it's actually already in my known hosts. So what?
Yeah. So probably
I'm
hide
just
your
gonna.
screen before you delete that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna move this over here.
If anybody wants free AWS, you missed your opportunity. But
Oh, I'm all about DigitalOcean.
so basically, actually, this is kind of an interesting feature of SSH, right? Basically, he had the board before on a different image that generated an SSH key. He connected to it. His computer recognized, hey, this board has this ID. And now that he has a different ID, the computer's refusing to connect because it's saying, hey, who are you? You're the wrong board. So it's one of the little security checks that happen.
Right, yeah, because I used the exact same key on when I set this one up. All right, so now when I do
There we go.
SSH Beagle at beagle.local, it'll say, are you sure that you want to basically fingerprint with this device? I say yes. And then I have a pass key on my public key so I can sign it. And now I'm in. So now you can use all our standard Linux commands, right? It's a Linux single board computer. So we want to check, is it actually connecting to Wi-Fi? So this is a little debug step. If for whatever reason the imager didn't carry over your Wi-Fi information, at the end of this guide, if you were to keep going forward, there's a troubleshooting section. And so in this troubleshooting guide, we have a section for if your Wi-Fi is not working correctly. So in this case, it did not copy over my Wi-Fi information. So I can go in and manually add that. So if I do sudo nano and type in the password beagle2 that I set on it, I can add in a network configuration just like this, just a little key value pair. And this is where I'm going to configure Wi-Fi and
Yeah, but you don't really need to worry about like setting security type or anything as long as it's WPA2, WPA3. It's all just gonna figure it out on its own.
exactly. So I'm just gonna do that off screen.
And there's different like visual ways to do it. There's that MTUI. There's a couple of different ways you can do this where it's it's more click through if you don't want to do it manually like that. But this is the
Exactly.
valid approach.
Yes. Right. So yeah, I've added Wi-Fi to the supplicant file. Right. Again, this is at the very end of the workshop site, and then I do this command to start the interface. So now, if I do IPA, in a moment it should. We might have to check. There we go. So now we see WLAN 0 here is now connected to Wi-Fi. And then we go back here. And the first thing we want to do is update and upgrade our packages, because you might never know what has changed since an image has been built. So this just makes sure that all our packages are up to date. So Alzone is asking
It looks like
where
you
we
have
can
a time sync issue.
Oh, all right, we can fix that real quick. What's the command there?
Yeah, so use cases, right? It's anytime you have multiple boards deployed around your house kind of thing where you want to you want to kind of prepare your updates. I don't know necessarily for Home Assistant how that would behave, right? Because you have Home Assistant's kind of got its own backup mechanisms. But if you wanted to send files to Home Assistant and kind of keep versions of what you had, you could do that. If you wanted to kind of keep your backups in line and know exactly what image is flashed, that's a valid example. More interestingly, if you have boards that maybe are not even at your house, right? Maybe I have like my little Beagle robot here, like roaming around the street with its 10 friends. I want to push a software update to all of them. You'd use something like this to actually push the update and figure out what it's running, right? So then I know, hey, 5 of my robots are running Model 1, 5 of my robots are running Model 2. Fight it out, which one wins, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Or if you have a IoT device, a sensor out in the wild, and you need to make a change or update to it, right? Um, you can do that remotely, or if you have, you know, any sort of thing in the field where you could tell somebody like, "Hey, attach this new module," and then you can just push code out to it. Uh, in the case of like you're using Home Assistant, uh, you can make your own custom Home Assistant device, right? So there's the MQTT integrations for Home Assistant, so you can now push new changes to this device and have a evolving custom home automation device that works with your Home Assistant setup.
Yep.
Same with like
By
with
the
the
way, if you haven't checked
ESP32.
out Beagle Play for Home Assistant, it's really awesome because it's got the sub-gigahertz radio on board. So if you want to do Zigbee, you actually don't need anything extra. You just plug it in. You don't need an SD card even, right? Because you have the MMC on board. So you just have a full Home Assistant green or yellow box for slightly cheaper. And they work really great for that. Where I've run my Home Assistant in the instance for like the past year and a half or something like that, just untouched, running great.
All right, so yeah, this is still finishing up a quick update. All right, so there we go. While that goes, just going to talk about the next step. Is we're going to then, once that finished install, we're just going to do some quick verification, just double checking again that we have internet connectivity. We can check our available storage, and we're just going to check that it has the GPIO tools. All right. Heavy Falcon's asking quick update. In terms of
Like where we're at, or
yeah, so
Not sure what he's asking about. I'm not sure.
yeah, could you clarify?
Yeah, he's typing.
uh,
Okay. Okay. Got it.
anytime you pull in, Debian packages, you're gonna gonna get a bunch.
You're right. Oh yeah. Yeah, it does work without updating it with this image. It's just it's a practice I always make sure to keep. Is like always make sure your system's up to date. Because again, goal here is security, and for all you know, some of those out of date packages could have security issues. So always keep your devices up to date on top of anything you're doing to try to make things more secure.
I mean, hey, if you compare this to your desktop computer, this is pulling in the GPU drivers and stuff right now. So it's like, try to do an NVIDIA update and see how long that takes.
Exactly. So while that finishes up, on our workstation, we're going to install some of the Thistle tools. So first things first, there's two main Thistle tools. There's Thistle Update Client, which runs on the device. This is how it pulls in an update. And then there's the Thistle Release Helper. So this is what helps you package and sign your file updates or your your kernel image. So once you have an account, so you'll need an account to download the binaries properly. You can then click the link in there, which takes you to the Thistle Control Center for the binaries. This will give you the latest links. So in this case, right, we're gonna want. I'm on a MacBook M1, so that's an Arch image, so an ARM64. So I would download this,
That's the
grab
Linux
that
image,
link,
though.
download it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Actually,
Yeah,
this one is what I ended up
Mac
accidentally
is
calling.
Mac is weird because Macs will do both ARM and x86 because they use the translation. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I tend to work in a small like VM sometimes, so
Arch, by
that's
the
why
way.
I usually grab that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, for the Apple, you'll grab that one and then
Was
download it
it
to a folder.
is it bad? Is it just bad idea to try to do this on the board that you're updating? Like you're doing it
The
on your develop, like you have a host machine.
yeah,
The way you're doing it, you have a host machine where you're going to manage the update pushing and stuff, and that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Just as a quick isolated path, I was getting started with this, putting it on to my Beagle Play itself, but what's
No, you
the
probably want to run it separately. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
just a
Goal,
little
right, is
context
to
is what I was looking for.
yeah. So what the idea is that this will release helper runs on wherever your workstation is. I mean, it could also run, like I said, in a GitHub action, right? This is the thing that packages and signs the file update that you're trying to send to your devices. So uh, in the event where if you're trying to build specifically for an architecture for a board and there isn't like a cross compile tool of some sort, then yeah, I suppose you would want to run the Thistle release helper on like a similar device. Um, but the idea is that this runs elsewhere to help push the updates out. So it's just a CLI tool to send updates to your fleet of devices, and then those devices are using the Thistle update client to then pull down your file update or your firmware image. All right. So once you have that downloaded, you're basically just gonna unzip it, and then there's a trh binary that this command here, chmod, or however you want to pronounce it. I just call it chmod, and then plus x, which basically says give this the ability to be executable, and then you can move that to whatever source path, so that you can just call it up in the terminal by just typing in trh. All right. Oh, so we have this. We don't need to do that. Let that keep going. So that's still updating. I'm going to open up another tab here. And in my projects,
And for
Linux.
anybody
So
that's new and needs to navigate Linux menus like that, tab is your friend because it'll let you not have to scroll down all the way to change buttons, kind of thing. So tab enter to get to that OK menu.
yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, if I wanted to, call one of these things, I can hit tab. But here I've already downloaded the TRH and I've included it there. So I already have TRH installed. So again, follow those instructions. You should be good. So I can do, right. Since I haven't put it in path, I'm going to call it this way. I can do that, and it'll tell me all the different commands I have. And so this is where, skipping ahead here. In a moment here, I'll show you how to then use that project access token. So let's see where we're at with this. Cool. So everything's good on this end. The installation on the Beagle YAI for the Thistle update client is really straightforward. If you just copy all of these commands, which just applies the version to the download link for the right Arch image for the Beagle YAI. So just type that in, it'll pull it down, and then if we see these lines right here, that means it is successfully installed. And so now we have the update client on our path on the Beagle YAI. All right, now here's the part where we initialize the project. So just to recap, we flashed the BeagleBoard AI with the stock image. We've updated it. We've installed the Thistle update client. We created a Thistle account, and we have installed the Thistle release helper on our workstation, and we have our project access token saved somewhere. So if you have those steps completed, then you're ready to basically go to the last bits of it, where we're going to export our token. We're going to run initialize the project with the Thistle release helper. We're going to then copy a config over to our device so that it can so that Thistle update client has its credentials to be able to sign packages and receive signed packages.
Mohib?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. Is there another bullet point there? I will go ahead. Okay. No, I just wanted to. What I wanted to say really quick, everyone, is while obviously it'd be really cool if you were following along with us. These hardware coding labs are real difficult to kind of like get kickstarted with people who are following along, which is why we do 6 parts. So this is a 6-part series, right? So if you don't have the board again, like if you don't have a board yet today, next month we will kind of like get you brought up, and or you can hang out here in the Discord and ping one of us. We'll get you brought back up to the point so that you can continue along in this series for the remaining 4 parts. But yeah, don't feel bad if you don't have a board. We'll still everything that we're doing today we'll make it so that the next code lab is that much easier, and you'll I think appreciate it more as well, because it stacks, right? So everything does start to stack, and we spend less and less time on these beginning pieces. But these first 2 code labs are these beginning sections. They do get harder. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting.
And just to mention again, this link for this walkthrough, that'll stay up. And of course, there's the docs.thistle.tech. Just quick thing, if you do decide you're following along on your own, I forgot to mention that if you look down here, these arrows will tell you when, so there's the next section step, but then for each sub-step, it'll show a down arrow so that you can continue following along for each of those sub-steps. So this will still be up, and like I said, at the end of this page, the final pages in this does have a troubleshooting section. So if you run into anything with Wi-Fi or connectivity, it has all those things in there. And of course, we have our docs, and then there's a BeagleBoard docs. So plenty of paths you can take should you decide to run this on your own afterwards. Cool. So yeah, again, recap. We have our device. It has the Thistle update client installed. We have the Thistle release helper installed on our workstation. And our board is connected to Wi-Fi. And so the next step is we take that Thistle project access token, which again, treat that like a password. Like this is the keys to the kingdom. You don't want that to get into the wrong hands, right? That's worst case scenario. Don't commit it to GitHub. If you're using it in some automation flow, you have that as an environment variable. That's a secret file or secret variable. You don't ever want to lose that, because once it's out there, it's not something you can change easily if you have a lot of devices connected to it. This is the case with anything of this sort. So very
if that
important.
ever happens, you would basically scrap your project.
Trust me when I say it is a nightmare having to roll back something like that. And I've had to do that before with a production app where one of our employees had published like our JWT token. So it broke everything, and we had to go through and update like 20 different projects. All right, so on that note, I'm about to show you my project access token. Right, we have these set of commands here. We're going to export our project access token as a variable inside our terminal. And then we're going to create a working directory. So there's one way to do it. You can make that folder wherever. So in my case, since I'm doing everything using the trh not from path, I'm going to use some different commands here. But then once you have that folder, you go in there and you can initialize that project by with remote signing. So this command will create your config.json, which is the file that you need to get over onto your BeagleBoard or your BeagleYAI. This has its credentials. and its device name and all of that. And then our manifest, which is basically a package template. So in this, you can say things like define a post and pre-install script, determine what groups it's going to, things of that sort, and it helps with signing it. So it signs your package update with this manifest, which then has instructions on what to do once it gets to the end device. So do this step by step. So again, these commands you will run on your workstation.
And we're putting the Thistle token in your environment variable here for convenience sake, right? But normally in a deployed system, you actually wouldn't have your
Deleting this
tokens or
project,
things like
so
that in
I'm
your
not worried about you guys
environment.
seeing this.
Yeah, you might want to zoom in a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
we can see. We can see it. We can see your terminal.
Yeah. So yeah, now if I do, I think is it sign.
Oh, wonder if Heavy Falcon. Were you able to? Is Heavy Falcon in here? I thought I saw him in here. I wonder if were you able to get your Raspberry Pi? I know you have a Raspberry Pi going at least. I know you don't have a BeagleBoard yet, but
So now I'm already in my working folder. So I'm going to grab this command for the Thistle release helper, right, for our signing method. Oh, right. So because I have that just right directly in here. So now you should, if you had everything set up correctly, this is what you should see on your output. It says our device enrollment token, a new remote key pair generated, public key fetch successfully, shows that, and a manifest and config generated. So if we use the command cat, which just logs out any file, and we say manifest, we'll see this, right? So it's just a project template, right? So these are things that we can change. So if I wanted to say, okay, before updating this file, I need you to install a couple of things, right? I can say this is a pre-install script, use that. And then after you're done, you could say post-install. Maybe you have it run a script that adds that file running as a service, right? Things of that sort. Right, and then our config. So we see it gave it a name. It says that's its persistent directory. It's added the device enrollment token and public keys. So.
And the reason it has a persistent directory is
Now
it
our next
basically
step is
needs
to
a
then
known
take
boot
that
source.
config and put it over on the BeagleY AI. So you can use SCP, which basically lets you copy a file over the network. I'm going to do a little bit simpler for me, which is to just copy it directly using the copy buffer. So, all right. So then, right back on the BeagleBoard.
So we have the control server up now, and you're associating the control server with the device now. So BeagleY being the device.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is adding basically a credentials file to the board. So I'm going to use sudo now because we need root user permissions to write into the boot directory. Boot, call it tuck, tuc, the Thistle update client, fig.json. And I'm just going to paste that in, and then I hit Control X and Y to confirm saving it. So now it has its config file. All right. So now we're at the home stretch, right? So now, just to recap, again, device is running. It has its credentials for the Thistle update client. It has the Thistle update client installed. We have the Thistle release helper installed on our workstation. It has our credential with the project access token. And now all we need to do is make our file and sign the package and release it, and then run the update script. So, all right. So for this part, you can connect an LED directly to your to the pins on your BeagleY AI. So that'll be, I think, pin 8. And so basically, an LED, right, to turn on, it just needs a digital pin on one end and ground on the other. And that digital pin, when it's set on will give that LED power and it'll turn on. And when it's off, the LED turns off. So you can go ahead and wire that, but you don't have to. You'll still see like output in the terminal. All right. So you can create your file structure. So the next couple of steps are just, going into our working directory, creating a folder called files. You can call it whatever you like.
They're asking in chat how long it takes until it shows up in the Thistle Control Center, because I don't think we've looked at that, right?
So it won't show up until it runs the update client. So when you've installed the update client, it's actually just a terminal utility. So it's not running all the time, because the idea there is you might have a specific way you want your updates to run on your device, right? So you don't necessarily want it constantly running in the background. I will show in here how to set up the update client as a service that starts on boot and then restarts itself every hour. So checks for an update every hour. So until you run that client, it won't show up right away yet. So, but you should, I think, in theory, see, yeah. So until it connects, it won't show up on your devices list here. So right now it has its credentials. It's just never been run, but we've created that registration token essentially. So once you have your files folder created, this script right here will actually just copy this bash script into that folder, or you can just, like what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy the code, right? But yeah, again, this is what you're running on your workstation, right? Where we're sending our code from. So in this folder, let's see, I have Visual Studio Code open here. Bring that over. So right here in this folder, same script. So I can edit my file here, right? I've got the Blinky sketch. What this is doing is calling the GPIO directly, right? There's plenty of libraries out there that make working with hardware on Linux boards much easier. CircuitPython is one of them. You can use Python directly using the GPIO libraries. So if you want to get real direct with it, you can use the GPIO libraries. CircuitPython, think of it like Arduino, where it's what Arduino is for C for firmware devices, CircuitPython is Python for firmware devices, right? So you can use that, and it has a bunch of built-in libraries for different sensors and things that you might use. But for this example, we're going to just use direct bash script to control GPIO. So that is saved. So once you're there, we have like 2 more things to do, right? So now I have the example code written. I have my manifest. I have my config on my device. We're all ready to send this update. So this command here, trh signing method remote, prepare, and then you give it your target, which is your folder where your files are, and you tell it what you want the file base path to be. So this is where that file will be placed on the remote device or devices. So in here, I run that command, right. And it'll say if it's successful, it's read the manifest, it processed the file, and the manifest has been amended. So now if we look at the manifest here, we see that it's added information into it, right? So now it's added a signature. So this is when we say it's signed, it is now signed the manifest for this file update, so that when the cloud receives it and the device receives the update, it knows for certain this is a trusted file. And then it has information about the file along with the hash there. So all these things just to add more security and tell it exactly where to put that file. So that's preparing the file. And then the final step for this is now we just release it to the cloud. Right? So we're going to publish this release. And it'll compress it, for saving on space, adds the SHA-256 checksum, the hash. The manifest is signed, and it's distributed securely through the cloud. So, keep forgetting. And so then right here we see it says it read the manifest, uploaded the asset, blink.sh, uploaded successfully, and compressed all the compressed artifacts have been removed locally. So if we go here now into the cloud, we can see our release there. So right here in our release, we see it's been updated. We can even look at the assets here. We have the file there. We can download it. We can see all the information about it. And now we go over to the BeagleBoard. Yep. So the final step really is now we need to deploy to the device. So the Thistle update client, it's going to enroll the device, verify the signatures, download the files, and then install them atomically with automatic rollback on failure. So again, if the file doesn't fully update, it would roll back to a previous version or like save, keep what was there. And all we have to do is run this command, which is as root, run the update client using this config that we already put on the board.
And you're doing this manually now for development, but normally on a real life board, you'd actually have this be like a timed event that just the board itself checks for the update server every once in a while. So it would do this
Exactly. And so
automatically.
the next step, I'll show you that part. Yeah. So now this is if it's done that, right, it says update status to pass. Use Control C to close that. And now if we check an opt demo blink, that file has now been added to the BeagleY AI. So now we have securely file updated. And then we can run that. So sudo bash. So this might be what your post install script would be. Like once it's installed, out run this script. Or you could already have this running as a service if you're already just updating this file. Right. So now if I run that bash script, and if I had an LED plugged into this, you'd see it going on and off. So this is telling you it's confirmed that it actually successfully did the GPIO set command. So, huzzah! We've now done a. What did I just do?
You broke it.
Oops.
You did something like it said bury or something. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that does.
Might be on the right there, like
Me,
it's hidden. I don't know. Well, you can always.
Well, yeah, it's fine. Well, we'll pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah. So.
Can you make your font a little bigger, actually, in the terminal, possible?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not that it's not connected, right? GPIO set is going to be different on a Pi or another device, right? So it's going to be, it depends on what version of the library you have installed, and it depends on how that board has the GPIO chip set up. So on a Pi, it might not be GPIO chip 2, it might be GPIO chip 0 or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. And then so that's the cool thing about this is unrecognized option. Okay, so there might be an issue on updating. There was something I ran into on updating those libraries.
Yeah, it looks like also Heavy Falcon's getting an issue too. I'm getting
That's what I was
GPIO
talking
set.
about, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. My bad.
Yeah. So, what device are you using, Heavy Falcon?
He's using a Pi, I think, a Pi 4 or 5.
Okay, yeah. So that would probably be a little different. So you might want to look that up. I don't know off the top of my head what the GPIO.
Yeah, it's just it's just a Python file.
No, but here he's looking for what the GPIO. We can go to there's a pinout.xyz.
Yeah, when we have
it's
Beagle, but it's just the GPIO chip.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because we're going like kind of low level with it, right? Like using the GPIO directly versus using like an abstraction library. So actually, what I would say, Heavy Falcon, where you're at right now with it, right? Because you don't have to. It doesn't have to be this shell script, right? That can be any file. So I would say install CircuitPython on that, and then grab a CircuitPython demo and make that the file you send out that you publish to your device. All you need to do is, because again, when we ran the Thistle release helper, we just pointed it at files. So just grabbed everything from the files directory and published that. Okay, yeah, Andrea, let's dropped in so you should be able to drop in those replacements.
And then you can also follow kind of this if you want to use that. This is for BeagleY, but it should work on the Pi as well, just with the different names. So I put some resources there.
And so we had talked about, now what if you want this update to constantly keep happening? The next step down here, if you're following along on the site, gives you everything you need to do a startup script. So you need to update it so it scrolls better. This creates a service file. So in Linux, you can create what's called a service file that lets you continuously run something. And service will restart itself if it fails. You can set different rules on it. And this service, we're saying that it runs for an hour and then restarts itself. It restarts itself every hour and waits 90 seconds from boot to start up. So that just makes sure, I put that in there to make sure that your device is connected to the internet before it starts the service. Because if you start the service before you have network access, then the update client's gonna log a failure. So you should be able to just copy that. And it copied something it shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Jason just shared the BeagleY version of the pinout. So pinout is an open source repo. So we did the same thing for 96 boards. Like we went and we forked it and made the 96 boards pinout.xyz version. It's pretty cool. If you're ever doing open source hardware, it's definitely a really nice code base to leverage.
Yeah, shout out to Gadgetoid, who I think still works for Primaroni these days, who made that site originally, because he did a great job with it, and open sourcing it was very nice of him. So
really, so from Pimmeroni, he did that from Pimmeroni, huh?
Yeah, and I think he's still with them if I remember right. But yeah,
That's awesome.
Gadgetoid on GitHub, cool guy.
An issue with the scroll here. So this is on my end. It's not fully.
Yeah,
Give me that.
Sorry, interrupt me, Mohib. Are you troubleshooting something?
Yeah, go ahead and interrupt. I'm just gonna troubleshoot this real quick. For some reason, the script is cutting off there, so I'm actually just gonna pull that from.
Yeah, Paul from Pimmeroni. I think he's like the founder. I think, but like I always run into him at like events, just like randomly, like events that I wouldn't really expect him to be at, and then some events that obviously I do expect him to be at.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like everywhere. He's everywhere. Like
I run into him a couple times as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so right now the Things conference is happening, and like everyone's messaging me like, "Hey, are you at Things conference? Are you at Things conference?" I'm like, "No, I'm working." This is not work though. This is fun. These are like the best times of my month. Best parts of my month.
I'm also a Paul fan. We did karaoke in New York City at one of the maker fairs. Right, he came out to our karaoke event. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, very good guy. He's got the look. One time I was called a cartoon character. I was called a cartoon character because I always wear when I'm working for a company, I'll wear the same shirt. I get 50 of them. Same hat. I get 50 of them. And they're like, "Oh, you look like a cartoon character because what you're wearing never changes." Paul, he's like a cartoon character too. But he manages to do it with different designs, but the same type of stuff. So he's got enough featured apparel. Like he wears this, I think it's bandana that he wears on his head. Anyways, you just see him and you're like, "Oh, hey." You know it's him. But
all right, so yeah, I dropped it in the chat. Yeah, so I dropped in the missing piece there into the chat. Hopefully it copied over the comments. I think it actually just made it bold there, but I'm gonna actually just drop in a quick gist here. Give me a moment.
Oh yeah, if you post it as a gist, that's the easiest.
Here you go. At open sauce. Boom.
Nice.
Good
I
old
wish they had
guru.
more open sauce. They should do open sauce like twice a year, or if they do it, they should do it for like longer, like 5 days. It's just there's just not enough. It's so at least for me, it's so much fun, man.
All right, so yeah, what I just dropped in there is a gist. That if you run it on your device, it will make it so that it has a service that starts 90 seconds after boot. So it'll go check for an update, and then it'll run itself again every hour. And what's cool with the service, if you're not familiar with running that in Linux, because any Linux machine's already got services running. So one of the things you can do is sudo systemctl status, and then your service name. So in this case, we named it thistle-update.service. This will tell us the status of it at any point. So if there's an issue, right, it'll tell us. So it says no new update to perform. It's got an identical version, so it's not doing anything. So in the next hour, it'll check again. But if you ever want to like force it, you can always do sudo systemctl restart thistle-update service. And then that'll force it to restart. You can also do stop or direct start. Yeah, Beagle, your homework. But yeah, so what we've done now, right? So is we've installed an update client that's running as a service on the BeagleBoard, and now from your workstation, you can write your code just like you would on your machine, and then package that and release it as an update and have your device grab it. It's a great way now to deploy to a fleet of devices to ensure updates are rolled out safely, atomically, and securely. And again, as an example, this isn't an actual GitHub action that would work, but just to give you an idea that you can set up CI/CD integrations now where you have your releases packaged through your deployment pipeline, which means if you have a team or a group of people, you can work remotely to create updates and send them out to devices, just like you would if you're doing cloud deployments, which just makes the whole process much better, much safer. You don't end up having like domain knowledge stuck in one developer's machine who knows how to connect to all the devices, right? This sets you up for success moving forward.
Yeah, so really what we
and
gained
now-
here, right, was like we haven't done full security on the system, but in the case where you wanted to be able to push an update, if somebody was to have pushed like, they were trying to impersonate the server and say, hey, I have an update for you, their key would just not match, right? So they try to send the same file, the board would go, wait, that's not my file, or it's sent in the past, or it's like, I'm not going to take this file from you kind of thing. So you close that attack vector there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And moving forward, there's the advanced security features that Thistle provides, right? You can do A/B system updates, so you can actually set in your manifest or in your config that like, hey, these are my 2 partition volumes. Use these for A/B deployments, so where it deploys to one partition while the other waits, right? And you can do that same thing with secure boot chain. And again, there's the whole bootloader verification. You're signing the actual kernel, so it establishes that root of that chain of trust. Where because updating a file system is that's a very critical thing. If that messes up, you could brick a device, and so that's where the A/B system updates come in as well. If you have, a backup volume that makes sure that if one fails in the process, your device is still running, and then you just like
Maybe your known good system
clear that
kind
part.
of thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We're taking like 5 hours into 20 minutes of deployment. And right. So in the real world where this is used is right. If you are in the automotive sector, you might have thousands of EV charging stations and vehicle systems receiving regular security updates. This is how a lot of smart cars operate. Use it in industrial IoT and large-scale sensor networks. You can have these automated firmware updates, remote management. Again, update the whole file system if you need to. Connected devices in smart cities, buildings, industrial automation systems, medicine, There's so many, anywhere where you're using an IoT device, that this applies because it's just making that process safer. Again, there's a troubleshooting guide here at the end, and we have some extra time so we can chat. And if anybody is still struggling, we're happy to troubleshoot here with you live. Again, so that covers a lot of that.
Did we
But yeah,
finish? Is
again, the
that?
summary.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah. So just to summarize again, we did a cryptographic signing. We authenticated our device. We enrolled it remotely. Verified signatures before installing a file. And we did that atomically with rollback safety. And it's got these production capabilities now, right? Cloud-based update distribution, fleet management, and CI/CD ready. And you can scale it to thousands, right? In the free tier of Thistle, I believe you get 10 devices, but if you work with them, you need to do thousands. If you're, say, doing something like, those smart electric scooters out there, you could do that with this software. And again, just to go over, we have this release here, and we can now see our device show up in the Thistle control console. So we can see.
And so if you edit the device name here, does it also propagate to the device itself in the config, or does it?
I don't believe so. To be honest, I don't know. I'll have to ask about that. Yeah.
I guess no, you can give it
Yeah.
tags though. Okay, so yeah, so
I guess
the
you can't really
device
change
name is
it.
based on your config, which makes sense.
Yeah, so that stays. But really, what matters is the keys and
Yeah.
the
Hey,
device
good job
name
on
is
the OD
something that you
blinking.
use.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's
So are
awesome
we,
to hear. Yeah.
Wait, I want to see the device blinking real quick. Hold it up. Where is it?
No,
I
that was
missed it.
Falcon.
Sorry,
That
I
was
was
Falcon in the. He
Yeah,
got his
I
pie blinking.
actually.
Sorry, I got like
Yeah.
other people chatting to me as well on the code lab, but like for another reason, like they didn't make it in and stuff like that.
Yeah, just be sure to drop them the link. And
the stream's still going on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also posted a LinkedIn post too, so that's good.
Yeah, and again, right. So now the next steps would be right for our next session. We'll go over the advanced features, right? Again, those AB updates, implementing secure boot. Might even explore some real world examples of using CI/CD integration, and go into like device groups.
Yeah, and between now and then, feel free to shoot us a message. Let us know if anything you'd like to see, any ideas. We're there for you.
Be honest, because I can check.
All right. Cool. And with that, yeah, the workshop's complete.
Yeah, congrats everyone. Thanks for bearing with us.
Okay, perfect. So I think it's worthwhile right now to just at least say give Sachin a moment to say like what his thoughts, but we are gonna have a fireside chat too. Okay, so does anyone have any questions for Mohib? All you have to do is just like, I don't know, type a 1 in the chat. We'll enable your microphone. You can come up here, talk with any of the people who did the labs, and then otherwise get ready because we're gonna take a portal back to the BeagleBoard server where Andre, you're gonna need to go activate that. But we'll give people a second to maybe Sachin, if you want to chime in on anything.
No, this is like I'm answering the people. People asking that whether Thistle works with other boards like the ES32 as well. I said yes, it do work, but we haven't covered it yet. Maybe in some upcoming code labs, we never know.
Yeah, and again, all those guides are also on the docs. So
yeah,
and here's the cool thing: you can combine things, right? So if you can do secure boot on your ESP32 and your BeagleBoard, you could run your Beagle YAI as like a gateway to all these ESP32 devices.
One really quick question, like to Andre, maybe. Can you give a brief differentiation between an RPi and a BeagleBoard?
Right. So I mean, it depends which one you want, right?
That's a very common question, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so there's all sorts of different BeagleBoards. I would say the biggest difference, right, is the open source hardware nature. So when you buy a BeagleBoard, you buy a board that you can actually get the design files for. You can understand how that board works at a very deep level. At least on the TI SoC ones, which is most of them, TI provides all the datasheet documentation, register maps. Basically, you can understand the chip as much as you want. Whereas with what's on the Pi, right, there's only very limited documentation you can get. You can't buy the chip itself. With BeagleBoard, you can go buy the chips in one 1 unit volumes and then design your own board based on the Beagle schematic and hardware layout, right? To kind of fit your own needs. Yeah, Jason, feel free to expand on that, but everything's done in the open.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like fundamentally the goal is to enable people to make things and not just enable them to make things, but to enable them to preserve the knowledge that it takes to go and create things. And that means that it's open source hardware, that you can get it, that it's going to be around for a really long time. And we encourage people to work, with tools in the open, and work with mainline, right? So like instead of using like random Python libraries to potentially solve things particularly fast, right? We try to teach people to engage with the Linux kernel where that knowledge is preserved and kind of lives forward, right? So you'll see, our efforts to try to improve the state of Linux itself for creating solutions to things rather than just kind of quick hacks to things.
Yeah. And the other cool thing about a lot of the Beagle boards that maybe doesn't come through is all these processors are industrial grade or automotive grade SoCs. So the same way that you have like your phone processor versus something that goes in a server, right? It's that kind of differentiation where a Pi is a cell phone SoC. What's on Beagles is a proper industrial or auto SoC where you're getting that stringent testing, those high temperature grades. There's that like mission critical, design expectation from the chip.
And on all the Beagles, you're going to find some sort of extra processing capability or some extra ability to do things in an embedded system that you can't do with just kind of a regular computer, right? Things like, the BeagleBoard Black with the quadrature encoder, hardware, the mini pulse width modulators and things. But the one that always kind of stands out and that's been brought forward to the Pocket Beagle 2 is these PRUs, or the 32-bit RISC processors that are the programmable real-time units. And so you see that people can create things to rapidly control stepper motors and generate LED patterns and really just do ultra low latency audio with like the folks that like Bella, where it's got 1 millisecond from input to output with synthesis and processing. Right, so the having the ability to do that ultra low latency stuff, in addition to kind of the the big high throughput Linux stuff, makes Beagle unique. You'll see things in the Beagle Y AI. What you're going to see is the R5 cores in there that you can do real time processing with, and then the C7000 DSP. Where you've got 4 TOPS of neural processing, but you also have a great general purpose DSP. I don't know, is that right? DSP is kind of specific to some folks, but it's a very flexible processor designed for digital signal processing. And that's everything from like creating custom video codecs to audio synthesis and audio processing, multi-channel audio processing. All right, it's a very, very capable processor for doing certain types of tasks that are just hard to do with the kind of the run-of-the-mill ARMs today.
Your Anders says we have only just scratched the surface of the possibilities with the Beagle Y AI. I think that's true. I think that's true. Yeah.
Originally I wanted to do an AI demo to close off the workshop, but I figured just in case we ran into some snags, I'd keep it simple. But yeah, one of the things I intend to do with this is push some edge models to it and explore some tiny ML stuff and see how I can use it to measure things.
It's kind of like you get a Google Coral for free, right? In the Beagle Y AI, right? Because you had a 4 TOPS AI engine.
Nice.
There's some possibilities with that.
So I don't see any more questions up there, and I wanted to take a chance here to just invite everyone to take a selfie with us. So you should have permission to turn your camera on. If you want to turn your camera on, I'll just give you a few seconds. If you don't want to turn your camera on, just gonna take a selfie anyways. The selfie doesn't show your names, so you should be fine, even though this is being recorded and streamed to YouTube, right? But yeah, so 3, 2, nope, no one's turning the camera on. What's going on? Come on, guys. All right, let's go.
Oh, no, we got
On.
some people turning
Oh,
on.
hey, wait, who else we got? 2 people turned them on? Okay, we got one there. Nice. What else we got coming in here?
I don't have one.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna get a picture of. It looks like he's doing some. There you go. got
Oh,
something
my
going on there.
camera shows something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better
All
watch
right.
it.
Oh, is that
Well,
Mark?
let's get this selfie going. All right,
That's a
3.
good opportunity.
What? 3. Wait, I gotta hold something up here now too. I'll hold the beagle. Okay. Wait, but I gotta. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, that should work. Let's see.
Crazy face.
All right, everyone. I'll share it
That's
right now.
Portal.
And here we go. Boom. That's the selfie. Everyone, I just shared it in the chat. Are you all ready to take a portal back to the BeagleBoard server so that you can get to know a whole new community? If you haven't already been there, they're a really cool group of people. In fact, I want to say one of the more active servers I've participated in across the network that I'm in. So you'll have some fun over there. There's a nice diverse group of people, developers, and of course, the people you took this lab with. So you'll be in good company. So what you're going to have to do here is make sure you have your portal, make sure you have your web chat or the Discord chat for this stage open. And we're going to send you over to the BeagleBoard server. Andre is going to head over there and he's going to open up a channel. And all we got to do is just drop in that channel and we're going to go do a fireside chat. Just close this all up. We're going to do a real quick round of giveaways. And we'll give away, I think, probably 2 or 3 BeagleBoard YAIs. What do you think?
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Let me. Oh yeah.
What do you think,
There you go.
Andre? What do you think? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What do you think about the portal experience? I mean, like,
Oh,
is it all
it's
right?
silly.
Like,
It's silly. Yeah, it's fun.
yeah. Okay. So it's silly it's silly, but it's silly in a fun way. As you're saying, like it's fun. It's silly. Yeah, so the thing is that like if you're already in both servers, the portal's just kind of like back and forth, right? But when you're not in the server, the portal actually helps a lot.
Yeah, interestingly, we have a 50-person limit on here versus the Thistle one, which is 25. How do we let everyone talk if they wanna just kind of hang out?
You got to
Can we
invite them up.
just?
If you want to bring everyone up here, you just right click their name, invite to speak. So yeah, the reason you have a 50-person limit is because this is a stage, right? So it looks like we can double the limit, but at some point this breaks, and that's okay. That just means you got to get here early. 50 limit, right? You got to get here early. That's a FOMO marketing 101.
There, anybody that put their hand up, I'm inviting up to the.
Oh no, I'm putting those hands up. I'm in. Those are invites, Andre. Yeah, I'm inviting them up. So if I already invited you, sorry. This is just so that you can all partake in the experience, everyone. If you want to unmute, make sure you unmute and ask questions. Techie, you're gonna bring up the wheel. I say we just give it to anyone who attended. As long as I say we just give it to anyone who's here. I mean, like at this point,
we
it's
don't
just,
have
it's
the
just
user. In the wheel, we need to write the usernames. We don't have the usernames.
Yeah, so I took screenshots. That's what we're going to use. We're going to use a screenshot to write down the usernames of the people who were in the lab, and it has to correlate to the people who are still here. So this will be the screenshot here. So make sure it's either one of these people, and it can't be Andre.
It can't be Jason either because he always wins these. Not Beagle ones, but he every kind of event we've been at, he gets something.
Yeah. So you know what? I would say like I was going to give away 1 per 10, right? So I was going to give away 3, but there's only like 2. Let's give away 2 because there's not 10 here. There's not even 20 here. 20 didn't come. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 20. So we're going to give away 2, right? And what that does is also we'll use the extras to give them away to the people who couldn't make it into the chat next month. That's what we'll do. Oh. My name is not there. Well, were you in the? Oh, maybe I opened up the wrong one because there was a more recent one that I took. Let me see. Because I remember seeing you, Matt Av. You were in there for sure. Yeah, we'll add Matt because I saw him in there. I saw him in the lab.
Okay.
Maybe he. Why aren't you in that screenshot then?
It's okay as long as they're here. It's I think it did count, so we'll just count anyone that's in the.
That's fine. Yeah. Count anyone who's in here plus the people in the lab, Techie. Let's do that. Because if you're here, you're a Beagle person anyways. You join because you're a person board. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, your name is on the list.
I'm typing out the names. Till then, if anyone want to ask anything or come up on the stage and share anything, feel free. I'm just writing out the names on the wheel.
Yeah, and really, just to kind of close out on the feedback portion of this, we really would love to hear your feedback. I know that there was a mishap in terms of our ability to accommodate everyone joining, but I did post something on LinkedIn, and I'm going to share it right now. If you have any, constructive criticism, feedback, any way that we could have made that experience better, I'll tell you, Zach. So Zach, we did a collaboration. Well, did a collaboration with Thistle, Devico, and BeagleBoard, where we did a little code lab where we enabled, or we worked with Thistle technology OTA, and next month we're going to do a secure boot on the BeagleY AI. That's the LinkedIn post. It's our apology or it's Thistle's apology on, but also recap kind of, or what the resources were. And if you have any feedback, that's where you would put it in the comment section. We really do appreciate the feedback. It helps us. And that's the embed that showed up, the BeagleBoard Beagle Imager.
Yeah.
I usually remove the embeds, but I guess I missed that one. That's funny. Oh, someone noticed the new emojis.
Nice.
Someone just saw it. Yeah, I put those in yesterday.
I didn't notice that. This is awesome. I love that. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, dang! Look at that. Yeah, actually, now might be a good time. So just so you know, everyone, on the left side of your Discord server, where you have your entire channel list in between the servers and your chat or your screen, if you scroll to the very top, you're going to find a channel called Channels and Roles. Okay, this is where you go and you activate your kind of experience in the Discord server. This kind of might change over time. I don't know what Jason's goal is with this and Andre's goal is, but you can at least start to kind of declare where you're from, what brought you here, and also what beagles you have, as well as how you'd like to be notified. And I would like to say, like, it's pretty cool how Jason and Andre kind of treat the community, because it's not really about finding out where you're from in the sense of, like, it's more about like how to provide awesome experiences in that sense. And I really like this whole system that they're using.
Except you guys were all wrong, because I see what you're doing in the comments there, and only I had to put BeagleY AI there, so quiz failed. No, I'm kidding about people spamming the BeagleBoard black emoji.
Oh, you liked it, shoot.
Yes,
Nice. Good to hear.
I'm done with writing down all the names. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, let's see your screen.
Okay, is it visible?
Yep.
And then let me 1 second. Let me. I gotta record this because I want to make sure I don't forget it. Properties. It is visible. Change Discord. Okay. Get this. Here.
So how many winners are we selecting, Robert?
Two, please. Two winners. And it's not because only two of you are winners. You're all winners. But there's only limited amount of resources on this planet. It's just what it is. So
There'll be more opportunities.
There'll be more. We can't see your wheel though, Sachin.
Not see.
We're seeing your Discord.
Yeah, we're seeing just your Discord. Yeah.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, I shared the window. Now you can see.
Maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect. Yes.
Good.
Yes, it's fine.
So are we good too?
Oh no, am I in there?
This stream is brought to you by Expedia. No, not really.
Okay, should I click?
Yeah.
Someone's saying they're not in there. Who's not in there?
Wait.
Oh, let's confirm if everyone is there.
No, Madav.
Madhav is there.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
You can probably remove J ... if that's me.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
Okay. Let's.
And
Okay.
there's Z over there that's also not on the list, I think.
Yeah, Zect.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
which one?
Zect.
Um,
Zect.
ZECTBUMO.
Zect.
Uh,
Bumo.
uh, uh, which
No, he's
one?
not
Which
there.
one?
No, he's
He's
not
not
there. You
there,
got to
yeah.
add him.
Yeah. Sure. Fine.
No,
The
no,
list
you
is
got
okay.
no,
Just
Sachin, you
one
got to
more.
add him in.
Zect.
Add Z. Yeah,
Oh.
at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Just add a Z. It's fine. We'll know it's him. Yeah, that's
Z.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
There you go.
Anytime. Yeah, you're
Okay.
good.
Okay. On the count of 3, 2, and 1. Let's see.
We need like
Hacks,
Jeopardy music.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Woo!
Mo.
MOE.
No,
Who's this?
Mo, wait up.
It's not
Mo,
me.
will
It's
you
a
use
different
it, Mo? Mo's my friend. Like she actually is kind of part of DevEco, and she's starting to help me out soon. So I don't. But Mo, if you'll use it, because you might use it since you're going to come start helping me out. Tell me if you will use it. I think maybe we should probably give it to someone else.
Here, that's gonna be the third board. That's the
Give it to
magic
someone
third
else,
board.
Mo, if you want one, I'll get you one separately. Let's
Okay. So
do that with someone else.
we still have 2 winners left, right?
Yeah,
Two
still two
winners
winners left. Let's go.
That's so
Let's
funny.
close. Like
So funny.
count of 3, 2, and 1.
Oh, Edge driver. Wait, why'd you add? Oh yeah, good. I was like gonna say if
All
Mohit
right.
wins, you know, Vier.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
look, he's typing.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see what
there
he
you go.
says.
You're in chat.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Nice.
Vier.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
So this
Let's
is the
go.
thing, Vier.
Yeah, let's go.
Just to know,
Party hat.
we don't know how we're gonna procure this yet, right? We know that we're gonna get it to you. Please allow us, like I would say, at least like a net 30 to net 60 kind of thing. So
Oh, come on.
you'll get it within the next week, or you'll get it within the next like 30 days, like something like that. But like we still have to figure out how we're gonna send it, how I want to safely collect your address, all that kind of stuff. But we have your name and we'll reach out to you. Or if you
Yeah.
want to ping me right now, you can just send me a DM and we'll make sure that we got that.
Perfect. So let's go with the last winner.
All right.
Count
One more.
3, 2, and 1.
Dramatic music.
S driver, I guess. Oh.
We're about to get two there for a second.
Actually, that's a good one. He's a college student, and he's actually also does a lot of stuff for the DevEco community. So that's pretty cool. I think that'll be a
Nice.
good one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I'm actually stoked that he got one of those.
Kids,
Okay,
don't
awesome.
learn that you should skip class for giveaways, but in this case, it worked out.
Yeah, I know, right? He's like sneaking in. Okay, so everyone, I'm going to say my thanks. Obviously, everyone else can say their thanks. This is pretty much it, but thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you all for showing up here. I know your time is very valuable, and I'm very grateful for you spending it with us. So hopefully you'll check in next month. It's going to be a kind of a similar experience since it's going to be a second month DevEco BeagleBoard Thistle experience. So as long as you're hanging out in one of those 3 servers, or ideally all 3, because they're connected in some way or shape or form, we'll get to see you again next month. So thank you, and I'll pass the potato over to Sachin and go ahead.
But yeah, sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, and I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something new at least during this 2 hours long session. And we're gonna have way more sessions in future about code labs with a different hardware, and maybe we'll learn something new. Definitely, even if the process is same, but there's something new all the time. So yeah, definitely want to see you all next time.
Thanks, Al.